All right, welcome everybody to Norwood Institute of Information and Solutions. All right, what we're going to do today is present you with some key insights and some solutions because there has been some reports in the news that some companies are shutting down, some places are closing down certain locations while keeping others open. So that's going to leave employees without a job at some point. All right. From you can check from one city to the next, from one state to the next, there are businesses closing down. And it may have something to do with AI. It may have partially something to do with AI or some other unseen reasons. And so because we are a think tank as well as we give you information and key insights that'll help you move smartly in your life, we want to present you with some solutions today in the event that you happen to be the one that will be eventually laid off, or it's your location where you work at that they're going to shut down. All right. So welcome to Norwood Institute of Information and Solutions. So let's get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Norwood Institute of Information and Solutions. All right. So what we're going to do today is try to help you guys solve a problem for you. All right. And hopefully this will definitely help you with that. All right. So today we want to talk about how to increase the income with existing skills. A lot of you guys have experiences, you have different knowledges about things. You worked at a job where you developed some knowledge about some things, some skills. So you can take that and actually improve your situation, all right, or the potential to improve your situation. So, yeah, let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. How to increase income with existing skills. All right, so let's get into this slide presentation. Starting with the first thing, what you see. All right, what do you see? What do you see? As you look on the screen, it's like a checking account with zeros in it. You know, hopefully this never happens to you. But things can happen. All right. And we're going to try to fix that with these solutions today. What you actually have compared to what you see. All right. What you actually have compared to what you actually see, or what you might start seeing possibly. All right. So you have decades of trade knowledge. Some of you have decades of trade knowledge. Some of you have decades of knowledge in what you do. Some of you have picked up other information. So you have some knowledge in some other areas on top of where you might have worked for those who are getting laid off or will be soon. You have knowledge in the place that you worked, and maybe with some of you have also gained some other information along the way, even if you're still working or worked where you formerly or you currently work at. You have skills that you developed and skills you might have decided you wanted to learn something else on the side. All right. So these are just some examples. So crisis management and reliability, professional networks. Some of you have different connections that you made over the years. All right. With people you networked, right? Some informally and then some formally, of course. Technical problem solving. Some of you have some great technical problem solving or problem solving skills just in general. All right. So you are not starting from zero. Don't think that you're going to be starting from zero, because you have, another thing also forgot to add is you also have experiences. Okay. You have lots of experience. Some have less than others, some have more than others, but you have accumulated experience over the years in what you do, and then all the things going on around you. So you can take advantage of your experiences as well, your knowledge, the information that you know, skills that you might have picked up and learn how to do something professionally, network, or just networking in general. This slide might have some things that might make you feel like it has to be this, but I'm telling you, you can just have networking. You network with different people. You might have contacts of people right now that maybe you haven't spoken to in years, or a few years, or a few months. All right. So you have those resources there. All right. So a life reset can make you feel empty-handed, right? You have to reset your life because of, things that's going on now. AI is starting to take a big role in a lot of things. And so this is also a opportunity for you to take advantage of maybe getting to know some things about AI. All right. Because some of you might have jobs where they're getting rid of people because maybe they don't have the information about AI. So you might want to do some investigating and find out, is there some things about AI that they're going to be using that they might be able to use you because you have the knowledge about a specific AI information that they're wanting to use or needing somebody to operate, right? So there's something to think about. You might want to go on and take advantage of learning some things. And it's so many places you could take different courses. Here at Norwood Institute, we're soon, or should I say, How to University. How to University, which will probably be having a class soon on super agents and app creation. All right. So be paying attention to that because we'll also broadcast it here. Even though we're Norwood Institute, we also work with How to University. All right. If you will. All right. It's all under the same umbrella. All right. So again, a life reset can make you feel empty-handed, but your most valuable financial assets aren't in your bank account. It could be. They are also in your head and in your hands, because there's things you can do with your hands, and you got things in your head that you can use to your advantage. All right. So increasing your income during a reset doesn't mean starting over. Use the skills, experience, trade knowledge, or just knowledge, information, and life wisdom you already have. Okay. Keep that in mind. All right. So 3 ways to monetize your experience. All right. Something to think about. Look at these 3 here. Maybe it's something you can fit. You might fit in one of these 3. All right. You can take advantage of it. All right. So number 1, and it's not in any particular order, but we have some order here. Okay. So number 1 is consulting and teaching. Use your mind. All right. Number 2, extra hours. Use your capacity. And number 3, simple service. Use your hands. Okay. Keep that in mind. All right. Number 1, consulting and teaching. Okay. Turn your years into income. All right. I kind of touched on it earlier. You don't need a preaching platform. You just need to share the truth of your trade. Turn years of professional experience into income, or turn your knowledge into income. Turn your skills into income. We'll touch on that in a little bit. So consulting for former employers or competitors, or your employer's competitors. You can consult, you can give advice because you have a certain years of information and experience that you can help someone with. You can coach or teach younger men or women navigating in the industry that you were in. And for those who went, some people like to learn different things altogether. And there's a saying that the more you know, the more you will never go broke. All right, keep that in mind. The more you know, the more you never go broke. I remember that being told to me and a whole bunch of other people. So that makes sense. You might want to start learning different things because you can turn whatever you learned into some income somewhere down the line. It might not be now, it might be months down the road, it might be immediate, it might be a few years down the road, but you'll have some information that you learned something about that you can say, oh, I can do this. Okay. So coaching, teaching younger men, younger women, older women, even kids you might be able to teach or coach. All right. Training new hires entering your specific trade or field. But that's if your certain field or trade is still in play, that they're not taking advantage of AI and might not need or robotics, because robotics is going to be playing a big role pretty soon. We already have robotics going on. Okay. There's robotics when it comes to restaurants. I've watched videos where they had these little robots. They don't look like the robots you might be accustomed to seeing, where it looks like we have a head and arms and legs. So it don't look like a big metal box on wheels. And they'll go literally, I've seen videos where we go down the street. Somebody must have ordered something. You see this little robot going down the street, going to whatever location it's going to, and it's probably going to drop off something. And then it's going to come right back and go back to the restaurant. So you might want to start learning how you can get involved into the robotics situation as well, because I'm sure there's different types of jobs involved with robotics that some people might think, well, I got to know how to be an engineer and this and that, but it might not just be engineering of it, or you might be a person that knows how to rebuild the robot or fix the robot. Or you might be the person that knows how to program it to do certain things. Okay. So there's so many jobs that's probably involved in that. And I'm sure AI is a part of it. And just knowing about artificial intelligence and maybe just programming by typing in text and having it do certain things just by texting it, but making sure you put the right information in there that the employer or the company wants you to put in, that might be a job that you want to, or a skill you want to learn. Okay. So keep that in mind as well. So number two, let's go into number two, extra hours, extra cash. Okay. Now, when I say that, although I said earlier how some jobs are letting go and it probably may not be anymore, or it might not be anymore for humans. It might just be more for AI, but there are some things that humans will have to operate or work or operate the AI. All right. So you might be able to take advantage of getting extra hours within that. But for now, take advantage of working extra hours in the job you at before they even shut down. You might already have noticed that they're going to do it. So if there's a possibility of taking advantage of getting some extra hours before they shut down completely, you might want to do that. Okay. So maximize your short-term earning. Use your existing profession to quickly build a financial cushion. Money gives a man or woman breathing room, and breathing room changes how you move. All right. Breathing room changes how you move. Money gives any person breathing room. When you get a lot of the money, you got a lot of money stacked up and accumulated, and that breathing room changes how you move and how comfortable you feeling in your life. All right. So you want to take advantage of that. Take on available overtime whenever it's available. Try to be available when a person can't make it. Try to make sure you kind of on that list of people to contact. Like, hey, I'll let you know now. If somebody calls in, I want you to let me know. I'll cover for whatever, cover for the person or whatever shifts. Try to take advantage of that, especially those of you who know already have been getting notices that, at a certain date, it could be the end of this year, it could be next couple of months, a couple of weeks. If there's if you could take advantage of any available overtime, let your people, your supervisors know. All right. Pick up temporary or seasonal work if that's possible. Request additional shifts in your current role. Again, if people can't make it, or sometimes you have a situation that could happen where you have people in the same area of the business that y'all do the same thing and they needed multiple people to do it. But being that some of you will already knowing that you're going to be getting, they're going to shut down or they're going to have to let some of you go. Some of you are going to start looking around for other jobs, and that might leave openings in the meantime for shifts to be open. And so that might be opportunity for you to take advantage of working some of these extra shifts. All right. Because some people are just going to call off some days because they're going to try to find another job. They're going to have interviews on other jobs. And so you might be able to take advantage of that, because while they take off that day, you might be able to cover that shift and stack your money up in the meantime. All right. So let's look at number 3, start a simple service business. And there's probably loads of service businesses you probably could create. Okay. For sure. The low barrier advantage. Use practical skills to create a low barrier side business, side hustle, if you will, that fits your physical abilities. All right. That's very important too. That's very important. So these are just examples. This is just not like the only things here, but just an example, something to kind of get your mind going on what you could possibly do, get started on, so on and so forth. All right. So you have junk removal. Okay. Truck muscle. All right. Some of you might be able to take advantage of that. Have a service where you remove junk for just individuals or even companies. They might have a lot of junk they need to get rid of, throw out. And if you have, you can rent trucks out to do it with. You can outright purchase. Some of you might already have a truck. Some of you might have small pickup trucks and probably can do the job if you got an extra pickup truck, things like that. Okay. Pressure washing, buildings and companies need pressure washing from time to time. They don't want their business looking janky and and funny looking, right? So you could take advantage of that. Mobile detailing, all right? People have cars and companies have cars. They might want some detailed, mobile detailing. Lawn care is always a good one. You also have you have a lot of these delivery services, and one idea that I can think of, you can purchase you some electric bikes, right? You can start your own service business where, man, I got a couple of ideas. You can start a service where, because where you're working at now, you take some money and put it to the side, because a lot of times nowadays, these electric bikes aren't that expensive. They're getting to where they're getting real inexpensive, where you could purchase a couple of them, if not 2 or 3 of them, and you could start you a service business of delivery, right? You can start a service business, because although I think Walmart has, I don't know if it's called Instacart, I can't remember exactly, but there's some companies that have those where they deliver. It might be elderly people in the neighborhood. You can start your own service business, just, coming in and getting a list from them, going shopping, get these electric bikes, set it up to where you can put a basket or something on the bike, and you can put those groceries in there, go shopping, get the groceries, and then ride this electric bike back to one person, to another elderly people, one person, this person over here, there, everywhere, right? You can do something like that. That's another idea. You can also create an app, and of course, you're going to have to do some promotion of the app, where I'm still tying that into the delivery service, where people can have this app, and or family members of elderly people can have the app and say, they can, however you set the app up, because you're going to have to sit down and think it through and figure out how you want it to set up, to where they can just order food from the app. You get the orders from the app. You go out and pick up what they need. If you got a car, like I said, a car, electric bike, if you want to save on a lot of gas or whatever, because of course gas prices are still kind of on the funky side, if you will, on the high side. And you can have these electric bikes, get a good one that gives you some good battery power, lasts long enough, and gives you some good mileage. You can just do a little something within a radius, a certain mileage of radius in your neighborhood, right? Or if you got a car, you got an extra car, or you want to use your car, you can do that. Have your app created, and you can go out and make deliveries. You can be in competition against Lyft and Uber and Instacart and all of that stuff, man, right? There's a lot of technology out here that is making it available and open for you to take advantage of. Now, even that I'm telling you that, I'm thinking of that myself. I actually thought about the delivery thing before. And so I'm just passing that on as another solution to you. All right. So you have these 4 on the screen, and then a couple of things that I mentioned should also help you spark some more ideas to broaden the different service ideas you could create. Okay. So which path fits you today? Okay. We got the model column, the time to start, physical effort it takes, the income potential. Okay. The stuff that we went over today. You got the consulting, remember, or being an advisor to different companies or individual entrepreneurs. All right. You can start that immediately. It's low physical effort because you're using more of your mind and the knowledges that you have, right, to give advice, to consult, to coach. And the income potential is very high based on the particular niche that you are into. Okay. Now, for working extra hours, that can also be immediate as well. Physical effort could be medium, depending on what type of job it is that you're working extra hours for. And there's a cap on the income because, you work for a company, they're only going to pay but so much. But you work more hours, I guess you could stack up that pay, even though it's capped at a certain amount. The more hours you make, you'll build that income. And then, of course, the service businesses, time to start roughly takes about a week or 2 weeks to get, set yourself up for your little side service business. The physical effort could be high. It could be high physical effort. This just depends on what it is, just type of service business. But it's basing it off of what you see here, okay, as far as service businesses. But I gave you other ideas that don't require a whole lot of physical, doing a lot of physical stuff, other than if you have an electric bike and you might live in an apartment and you might live on the second, third, fourth floor. If it don't have an elevator, you'll be carrying that bike up and down the stairs. So that might be your physical effort. All right. And the income potential is uncapped. All right. There's very high. It's even probably higher than the consulting high potential. Okay. There's no cap on how much you could make. Okay. So those are some ideas, and hopefully this has helped you get your mind going a little bit into thinking what you could do, being that AI is coming into play, and I know robotics is going to be right behind it. There's already there. Seem like sometimes the robotics even came before the AI, and they're just going to combine AI with robotics, and so that's going to take some jobs out the picture. And but you still remember, you always have your information that you have lots of experiences on different things. There's so much. I'm sure there's so many things you have experience in. You just sit down and think about it. Some people can write a list. Some people just think about all the experiences that they had that can be potential, create potential income out of those experiences and the knowledge and the information, skills you developed. And you can make a list, or some people don't need to make a list. They could just think, oh, I know this, or I had experience in that. and you can start figuring out what you can do. If it happens to be you that has to be let go. Okay. So stack to breathe, not to show. Just something to think about here. The goal isn't to impress anyone. All right. The goal is to get to a place where life stops feeling like every little problem can knock you down. Okay. Keep that in mind. All right. Let me get over here real quick. All right. Make one move today. All right. One move today. Think about it. Make one move today. Okay. Make that one move. So, again, hopefully this has helped you guys. And let me just do that real quick. Hopefully this helped you guys think about some things, consider some things. And I know when I teach these things or I present them, it's always helping me, because the more I teach, the more I learn. The more I learn, the more I can teach. It goes back to what I was saying. The more you know, the more you can never go broke. Okay. Remember that. If nothing else sparks you about anything that I presented today, remember that the more you know, the more you will never go broke. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all for coming in. And let me know in the comments, man, that what you liked about this particular presentation. If there's anything else you want to know, let us know in the comments, put it down, and we'll be back with some other things in the future. All right, coming real soon. This is Norwood Institute of Information and Solutions, and I hope we found some solutions for you today. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.